Is MapleStory 2 casual gaming? April 2019. Developed by Nsquare and Nexon, MapleStory 2 is an isometric MMO where you take on the role of one of up to 10 classes of character to battle a variety of monsters in a brightly colourful world of wonder to take down the ultimate evil. A spiritual successor to the very popular 2D side-scrolling MapleStory, MapleStory 2 has a multitude of activities including crafting, housing, hobbies, mini-games, leaderboards, PvP, guilds and more. But is it casual gaming? We are going to talk about the global version of MapleStory 2, or GMS. There are Korean and Chinese versions of this as well. MapleStory 2 was announced for the global environment in April 14, 2018. However, the Korean version of MapleStory 2 had been released in July 2015 and the Chinese version on the 21st of September 2017, so there's already a lot of content ready to go live. Closed beta testing began in May 2018, with additional testing in July and August. MapleStory 2 was released globally October 10, 2018.
MapleStory 2.
Reviews for MapleStory 2 came in quite positive, citing good world building, fun and colourful graphics, strong social elements, and a lot of activities upon release. The community was a bit more reserved, citing uninspired questing, pay-to-win elements, RNG with endgame, and a substantial problem with bots. MapleStory 2 generated a lot of interest upon release, and it was downloaded over 1 million times within the first week of release. MapleStory 2 has had the Skybound expansion both Phase 1 and Phase 2 over the end of 2018 and 2019. There were additional dungeons, legendary gear rewards, content creator, as well as additional patches and fixes. Classes such as the Runeblade and Soulbinder were also added, but despite the very high interest, the population started falling from January 2019 and is now in significant decline. MapleStory 2 can be run through Steam to a third-party Nexon client or the Nexon client itself. There are regional servers that cover most of the globe, so you can get a decent local connection. MapleStory 2 can run on multiple configurations using keyboard, mouse or controller. The configuration keys are reflected in the UI and you can customise your keys as needed. Gameplay is an MMO style, so you can choose when to log in and how you want to play. There are no matches or time requirements beyond the standard dungeons or daily quests or the random mini-games that you can join at any time, and most of those last about 5 minutes. The game is incredibly bright and cute, being a voxel type game. There are darker themes, but they still look kind of cutesy. I mean, look at this guy. I can't remember the half these characters. I actually thought this was a woman. MapleStory 2 is a voxel type world, so you traverse a world of essentially blocks of different colours and themes that are all interconnected. Each area is instanced within the theme, so to move to a different area you just traverse to the edge and move across. All blocks are essentially traversable, but some may be water or acid or on fire or lava. The designs of the world vary, but sometimes you can find yourself in cityscapes or forests that climb high into the sky, so that keeps the areas interesting to explore. Oh wow, the story. It's completely nonsensical, but it falls into the good versus evil category.
In every realm, there must be balance. But the goddess of light loved Maple World and warded it against the darkness. Fearing this imbalance, the goddess of darkness lashed out. So began their terrible war.
Wait, what? The light wanted to protect Maple World from darkness, and the darkness said that's not balance, and then they fought? Sorry, that's not right. So apparently the darkness infected everything, then it was defeated, then it has returned. So that's where you come in as a lowly class, and you're suddenly thrust into a war and immediately tasked by the highest. Yeah. The world itself is a mix of modern, futuristic, and ancient technologies, magic, DNA, robots fighting demons? Okay. MapleStory 2's progression is based on a level system from 1 to 60 for each class. There are standard classes such as Mage, Archer, Priest, Knight, well, you get the picture.
Such a difficult question. Do I even
Each class has a skill tree which unlocks these climb levels, which is done through completing quests or games. Mobs, bosses and quest rewards drop gear that upgrade your character. You have a finite amount of space in your stash, but you can purchase a house where you can stash your gear as needed. There are quite a lot of currencies in the game that are earned through activities, but there are two main currencies we should look at, Miso and Blue Merits. Miso is an in-game currency that allows you to buy gear, housing, cosmetics and other items. Blue Merits are paid currency that are used to purchase exclusive items from the market and generated content. MapleStory 2 is not pay to win in a sense. You can level up and finish missions as a free-to-play player. Well, the global version at least. There are items and gear you can craft and sell on the market for Mesos, so there's a bit more value in the materials you'll find in the world. MapleStory 2 is quite impressive as a free-to-play title, that there is a lot to do. Questing, dungeons, fishing, music, trading, crafting. So why does this feel so empty? Questing is boiled down to the same 3 quest types in different areas, broken up with strange cutscenes and a lot of text to run through. The main story seems to carry most of your levels through, rather than needing to spend time in an area doing side quests. You can solo most early dungeons quite easily, and the bosses are fairly uninspired, so much so that the global server was plagued with bots that were able to run through and grind out these bosses. It took me 7 hours or so to get to level 30, so over halfway. Considering the original MapleStory is still one of the most top played MMOs in Korea, but MapleStory 2 is well out of the top 50 as the player base collapsed. The release of the global server and the 1 million downloads certainly looked to give the game longevity, but despite the strong content, the population and community drastically declined, and playing MapleStory 2 today, it seems very much a lonely prospect. Random loot drops give some playability, and you can grind the end game dungeons after level 50 for higher stat gear, but there seems to be a distinct lack of content that is not grinding the same dungeons over and over again. Indeed, many players advocating leveling up other characters to be able to grind out the end game content when you are locked out of playing your dailies. So, is MapleStory 2 casual? MapleStory 2 is casual in a sense that you can complete the majority of the game on your own terms in quite a short amount of time. It can appeal because some of the social aspects of the game, but the content is so shallow that there is other games that you could be playing. I would suggest that this game appeals to the younger audience, but even then they would struggle to stick with this when there are other mobile games having deeper content. And there are interesting things like class builds and upgrading gear with the endgame content, but it doesn't feel all that accomplished to do all this. MapleStory 2 is good in a sense of a free-to-play title. You can have quite a bit of fun with the short amount of time that you need to invest into it. But in terms of a social game or an MMO, particularly with the population as is, it would probably be easier to look elsewhere.